Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back for a Wednesday edition of the Steel City Sports Report, where we talk everything Steelers, Penguins, and Pirates. I am your host, Brady Vini. What is going on, everybody? Can you smell that? Honestly, can you smell that? I mean, you probably can't smell much of anything right now because it is still cold outside, weather, illness going all around, all that stuff. But if you smell just close enough, you can smell the freshly cut grass, the crack of the bat, and the pop of the mitt all the way down in Bradenton, Florida, where today the 2026 Pittsburgh Pirates season took its first crawl. Today, pitchers and catchers reporting down at Pirate City as the Bucks they look to go on a quest for something we have not seen in quite some time, that being reaching the postseason. Just about all of the offseason moves that Ben Cherington and company needed to make this offseason, just about all of those are done and out of the way. Now, soon enough, it will be time for real baseball. We will start off the show with that here in a few moments. What all went on down today at Pirate City, who was there, what all they did, all of that good stuff. We'll start off with baseball to begin the show here in a few minutes. After that, we will get into a little bit of football, even though football season is now over. The heat is only rising. Today, was not expecting this. A new episode of Cam Hayward's podcasting came out, and let's just say that tensions are high right now when it comes to former Steelers players. You have one former Steeler player, some would say a legend of the Steelers defense, calling out an all-time quarterback for the Steelers. It is just a whole mess right now. Steelers from past and present are chiming in on the matter, and it is just craziness right now in Steelers land. Nothing too drama related with the current team in place, but in terms of, things from the past getting dug up, woof, tons to break down in that department as well. After all that, after we talk Pirates baseball and Steelers football, we will then get into the extra Pittsburgh sports news of the day. We always wrap up the show with that. We got some hockey to talk about. As a matter of fact, over here to my right, game 2 of 2 today in the men's division for Olympic hockey just wrapped up. Team Sweden getting the victory in that one. How two Penguins did in that game, Rickard Rakell and Erik Karlsson, both members of Sweden, how they did in today's game, we will break down. And we'll get into anything else that, we can loosely talk about near the end of the program. But before we do all of that, if you are new here, welcome to the Steel City Sports Report. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so that you never miss a thing here on the channel. Again, one subscriber away from hitting 750 on the channel, 3/4 of a way to 1,000 subscribers. Just one subscriber away from hitting 750. Hopefully, that is someone here that comes across this live stream here tonight. That would be absolutely awesome. Also, on your way in, hit that like button on this live stream, share this live stream, and in the comments section, feel free to go right there right this second. Any thoughts, questions, opinions that you have on anything related to Pittsburgh sports or anything we talk about today, by all means, let your voices and thoughts be heard in the comment section. Lastly, go give the channel a follow at Steel City SR on Facebook, Instagram, and X. Tune back in later tonight for a new edition of SCSR 60, and come back tomorrow. Tomorrow, there will be no daily Pittsburgh news live stream like this. Instead, at around 3 o'clock tomorrow, we will be live because while the Steelers season and football season as a whole has ended, the Pittsburgh Pirates, they are just barely starting up, and the Pittsburgh Penguins off for the Olympic break. We will be covering a little bit of the Olympics. I'm talking about watching along with how Team USA does, and they begin their Olympic tournament play. The men's hockey team, they begin that tomorrow, 3 p.m. against Latvia. And if any of these games here today, the game between Slovakia and Finland, and then this one that just wrapped up, Italy and Sweden, it should be an entertaining game. Both of those games today were close. Even one was an upset, Slovakia over Finland. So tomorrow, USA versus Latvia. Feel confident that the U.S. will be able to pull out the W, but the way these two first games of the men's tournament have gone today, who's to say that games won't keep reoccurring just like those ones, and it will be tightly contested affair. So come on back. Hopefully we get to reach a new audience here on the channel. But before we get to that tomorrow, let's focus on today. Like I said, down in Bradenton, Florida, the popping of the mitts began, as did the cracking of the bats, as spring training 2026 for the Pittsburgh Pirates officially got underway. Pitchers and catchers reported for duty today down there in Bradenton. And we got to look at some familiar faces, some new faces as well for the Buccos. Seemed like a fun time down there. Mostly it was bullpens for the pitchers today. We got to look at Jared Jones. He coming off of elbow surgery. He was pitching off the mound today. He did a little bit of that in the offseason as well. Maybe makes you think, hey, dealing with that elbow surgery, it's still a question whether he'll be ready for the beginning of the season or not. But the way that he is pitching already off the mound makes you think he will be back sooner rather than later. New Buccos, Jose Urquidy and Mike Clevenger, they were on the bump today as well in a bullpen sesh. Johan Ramirez, Pirates bullpen arm, he was there as well. We also saw left-hander Hunter Barco, he wearing number 45 now, changing his number, I believe, to Garrett Cole's old number. And most recently, Andrew Heaney, he was throwing off the mound. Manager Don Kelly, he had some praiseful words for Hunter Barco, who knows, could be a big part of this rotation, as the Pirates currently do not have any lefty starters besides the prospect Barco. Kelly had tons to say about him. We'll get to that here in a little bit. And also, I'd say the star of the day today for the Buccos pitching, aside from, Paul Skeens, he got his attention a few days ago, starting a little early to prepare for the World Baseball Classic. The star of today's pitchers and catchers session, Mitch Keller, throwing off the bump, looked really good. I think it's safe to say now we've made it all the way through the offseason. He will not be going anywhere via trade unless it is absolutely something massive. And we also saw Keller in a live bullpen session today out on the mound, faced both Endy Rodriguez and Henry Davis. Davis, of course, the right-handed batter. Endy Rodriguez, switch hitter, batted lefty. And Keller looks like struck out both of them in his live bullpen session. So Mitch, been through all of these spring trainings before. It looks like he's picking up where he left off. Hopefully another good season for number 23 ahead of him. But aside from pitchers and catchers reporting here, we heard yesterday from manager Don Kelly. We'll get into more of what Kelly had to say, as did Ben Cherington, what both of those guys had to say yesterday. We'll get to that in a little bit. But just about everybody, even though they have 2 more days to get to Pirate City, just about everybody on the Pirates roster already down in Bradenton, eager to get this training camp going. And we saw that today in the cages. Had some guys hitting: Joey Bart, Henry Davis, Endy Rodriguez, Rafael Flores, the 4 catchers on the 40-man roster. They were doing some BP, as was Connor Griffin. And he, aside from Mitch Keller, might have been the star of the show today down in Bradenton. Connor Griffin was there, I believe, working out with Paul Skeens over the past few days. He got in some BP as well, and Griffin looked like he is ready for the major leagues. I know there's the whole report going back into the offseason. Will Griffin be getting a chance to start on the big league roster at shortstop? At least from what we've seen of him in the batting cage, he looks like he is up to the task. Was absolutely demolishing baseballs today down at Pirate City. Even so, that apparently he hit a car. Unconfirmed reports that Griffin hit a bomb that hit a car out past the outfield while we're waiting to see or hear if that is true. But I wouldn't doubt it for a single second, to be honest. And Griffin, not only is he just crushing BP, he did well against Paul Skeens. Mentioned that he was working out with Skeens a few days ago, according to Don Kelly. In that brief video we saw of Skeens pitching to Griffin, Skeens struck out Griffin on 3 straight fastballs the first time they faced each other. The next time, Griffin made an adjustment, lined a ball into left field off of the best pitcher in baseball currently. So the top prospect in baseball against the best pitcher in baseball. Looks like those two are equal to each other's tasks. Paul Skeens also spoke highly of Connor Griffin today, said that he is super mature and super professional for his age. He's excited, Skeens is, that Griffin will get to help the Pirates win a lot of games in Pittsburgh this year. So I'm hoping that that is a bit of a reveal behind the curtain there. Maybe Skeens knows something we don't. I would hope he would know something that we don't. I'm hoping that the Pirates front office and coaching staff is fully transparent with him. Maybe Skeens hinting a little bit that Connor Griffin could be getting the nod to start in the big leagues at 19 years old this season. I certainly hope so. After BP, Griffin and company, they went out to the field. Looks like just about all the infielders were down in Bradenton today. You had Nick Gonzalez leading the ground ball drill at shortstop. So looks like Nicky G is going to be the guy holding that position for the time being until Griffin is ready. Griffin's going to need to beat out Gonzalez, who prepares for the World Baseball Classic as well. Griffin, he followed after Gonzalez in the drill, followed by another prospect, Jack Brannigan, and then David Wenzel, who was picked up this offseason. Also saw some ground ball action at third base. Indeed, Jared Triolo right now is the leader in the depth chart at that position. He was then followed by Emmanuel Valdez, who was here last year. Hopefully his shoulder injury covered. Nick York, who was acquired a few years ago in a trade with the Boston Red Sox that sent Quinn Priester to Beantown. We'll wait and see if he has a breakout. And speaking of breakouts, this guy, former top prospect of the Buccos, since then, and the emergence of Connor Griffin and multiple pitchers in the Pirates pipeline, Tamar Johnson, he was taking ground balls at third base today. He was also taking reps at second, but did not think that Johnson ever took ground balls at third base or played the position throughout his minor league journeys thus far. So that might be something to look at, see if the Pirates can develop a new path for him to get to the big leagues, but we shall see. Other than that, some other loose end things before we get into other interviews and stuff from Pirate City today. We now know what numbers Marcell Ozuna and new pitcher Jose Urquidy will wear. Ozuna, he will be taking over number 24. That was last worn by Johan Oviedo last year. Oviedo traded away this offseason. Ozuna now fills that role. Also, Urquidy, Jose Urquidy from the Houston Astros, wearing the same number he wore down there in Space City, will wear number 65. Now, everybody immediately on Twitter is like, he's wearing 65. What the hell happened to Jack Sawinski? Is he getting DFA'd? Is some, prayers, I guess? Well, not prayers. That would be too mean. Is some hopes of Pirates fans all around the world going to be answered? Is Sawinski's experiment gone wrong here in Pittsburgh coming to an end? No. Turns out Sawinski changed his number. He will now be wearing number 18. Hopefully some of the powers of Neil Walker will be able to be transferred on to Jack Sawinski so that he can get his career back on track a little bit. But those are the new numbers for the new Buccos. Also, a new coach has been added to the Buccos coaching staff, and I absolutely love this. I grew up playing the catcher position, same thing with my dad. So anytime the Bucs get a hold of a good catcher, especially one that is sound defensively, took great pride in defense, I absolutely fell in love with those catchers. And one of my favorite catchers in recent memory for the Pirates is now back as a coach, Jacob Stallings, playing career now done. I believe after he left Pittsburgh, he went out for a short stint with the Colorado Rockies, if I'm not mistaken. But looks like just like Daniel Vogelback last year, as soon as you're done, pick up a coaching role with the Buccos and see where it goes here. I will say this. I don't mean this to be any sort of a shot at Daniel Vogelback here, but I think Jacob Stallings has a low bar to clear when it comes to player turned coach contributing to the team. I still have no clue what exactly Daniel Vogelback's purpose was on the coaching staff last year, but Stallings, he now joins the team as in the baseball operations department. I think there's another official title around there somewhere of what Stallings is going to be doing, but he will be doing something down there for the Buccos, and I just love that for the development, even more so defensively for Henry Davis. I think Davis picked up extremely well his defensive play last year. Stallings, he's only going to help that. Same thing with Joey Bart, should he remain on the team throughout the spring. And Endy Rodriguez, Rafael Flores, still two inexperienced guys right there. Flores because he's young, Rodriguez because he's been hurt. I think Stallings is going to help them a little bit behind the plate as well. Other than that, on to some other things going on with the Buccos. Yesterday, we heard from manager Don Kelly and general manager Ben Cherington. They spoke with the media via a video stream, and they had some interesting things to say. First off, Cherington, he said that this has been, in his 6 years on the job as the Pirates general manager, the deepest and most talented group of players they've assembled heading into spring training. Hopefully that reflects on the field. Cherington's thoughts right there. I will tend to agree with him right now. It's been a 6 years trek through the wilderness of a never-ending rebuild here. Hopefully now you add in 3 major league bats, Ozuna, O'Hearn, Lau. You didn't really give up all that much to acquire those guys except for Cash Dollar. And who knows, maybe the Bucs aren't even done yet. There's still a possibility of them upgrading at third base. We shall see, but agree with Cherington on that statement. Cherington also said that the designated hitter spot, it will not be one solid person. Instead, it'll be a group of players. Cherington and Kelly both reflect that same thought. So that gave me a little bit of wonderment. You brought in Marcell Ozuna. I don't think Ozuna has played the field in at least 2 years. So, I mean, is Ozuna all of a sudden going to play some left field just like the days of old when he used to torment this team as a member of the St. Louis Cardinals? Is he going to, play right field? Is he going to learn to play an infield spot like a first base or something like that? I don't know. Very intriguing answer right there from Cherington. I guess, the Bucs are going to stick with their plan that I think they've had all offseason long, regardless of who they brought in. You knew O'Hearn was going to do some DHing. Same thing with Brandon Lau, Brian Reynolds. He's, been known to DH at least once a week, something like that, to get him out of the field. So I wonder how the Bucs are going to, do this. I'm hoping that they always, have their main guys in there and that they're not just going to give a guy a day off just because to switch up the lineup a little bit. So we'll see how Donnie Kelly navigates those waters. Some more from Ben Cherington. He said that all 4 catchers on the 40-man roster can be primary catchers. We have seen some positional flexibility in the past. Endy Rodriguez, just last year, he was the opening day first baseman. Rafael Flores, he can play some first. I think Joey Bart tried to play some first a little bit. Henry Davis, when he reached the big leagues 2 years ago, was a right fielder. So Cherington keeping confidence that one of those 4, or most of those 4, will be primary catchers throughout the season. Last thing here, before we get to the big thing Cherington said yesterday, he did say that the Bucs are still looking for pitching depth, but aren't concerned with which side they throw from right or left. I'm gonna put up my BS meter on that and start sniffing around a little bit because Cherington all off season long has been like, would love to get a left-hander for the rotation, love to get a 4th or 5th starter left-hander, and now all of a sudden spring training comes around and you're saying, oh, we just need pitching depth. I don't care what side of the ball they throw. Yeah, I'll believe that when I see it. I still feel like the Bucs are going to add a left-handed starter at some point, whether it's a guy who's going to be here the whole season or a guy who converts to the bullpen or gets DFA'd once Hunter Barco's ready. I don't know. We now know it won't be Jose Quintana. Late last night, Jose Quintana, former Bucco, I was absolutely pounding the table for the Bucs to have a reunion with Quintana. He signed a 1-year, $6 million deal with the Colorado Rockies, so that takes him out of the running for a reunion. Maybe up next, Tyler Anderson, who could be another reunion for the Bucs from 5 years ago. Zach Littell, another lefty, pitched last year with the Reds. Maybe he could be an option. We shall see. I definitely do think that we are going to see a left-hander. Like I said, Ben Cherington, if there's ever been a common pattern throughout his off seasons, it's been bringing in a left-hander that on the cheap that has turned out to be an inning churner for the Buccos. Started in 2020 with Derek Holland. 2021 was Tyler Anderson, who's could be next on the Bucks target meter here. Then Quintana in 2022, Rich Hill in 2023, 2024 it was Marco Gonzalez and Martin Perez, and then last year Andrew Heaney. So Pirates always go the veteran, throw a 1 year, $4 million contract their way, get him in here. I definitely do think that is still on the table here. And the last thing from Ben Cherington, of course, somebody was going to bring this up, the whole Andrew McCutchen saga and how it came to an end. Cherington was asked if signing Marcell Ozuna closes the door on re-signing Andrew McCutchen. And I want everybody watching this right now to take their blood pressure and heart medications and make sure they're not lightheaded, because you felt that way reading the first sentence or two of Cherington's answer here on McCutchen, and if he could return despite Marcell Ozuna getting signed. This here from Cherington: I think this is a moment in time, comma, and I think there is a long time ahead of us, period. Forever is a long time, period. Does anybody have any idea what he meant by that? That was nothing more than just filler until I can come up with some BS answer, which is, yeah, we don't want to close the door on Kutch, but we want to close the door on Kutch. It's like that old, for you football fans out there, the old Mike Tomlin bit where he says, never say never, but never. Pretty much what Cherington's answer was right there. As much as, some people out there really, really want to hope that Andrew McCutchen does get his one last farewell tour here at the Bucks, I deep down sure want to see that. But Cherington saying the politically correct thing here, but I think it's safe to say we all know that McCutchen return here isn't going to happen unless dire circumstances or the right situation comes about. Some more of Cherington's answer here. I don't think the Pirates will ever completely shut the door on Andrew McCutchen. That's just how we feel about him. That's not going to happen. As far as I'm concerned, Andrew will always be a Pirate. I think most people feel that way. I certainly speak for the organization, and that's how we feel, that no matter what, Andrew is a Pirate, and certainly our desire will be to continue to have a really strong relationship with him into the future, whatever that looks like. And then he went into how the team needed to get better in 2026, all of that. Sometimes it requires making decisions that are going to be hard. Basically, all of Cherington said there, basically saying, we love Andrew. He'll always be a Pirate. We don't want to shut the door on him, but every single thing we've done this season has been to get better, and he was a casualty of that. So Cherington, I guess, trying to clear up the air there. We'll see if anything else comes of that, if we get a response any further from Andrew McCutchen, whether that be a social media post or him signing with a new team, as crazy as that sounds. Back to Don Kelly, Pirates manager. He yesterday and today spoke, said he's excited for the addition of Marcell Ozuna, said he's a big power bat that they can put in the middle of the lineup. Again, thank God Pirates haven't had that type of player from the right-handed batter's box in quite some time. Kelly also talked about how he and Ozuna played together, said he's unbelievable and a fierce competitor, going to be a nice presence in the Pirates clubhouse. After that, talking about the new guy, Ozuna, Kelly then went in and was given handouts and compliments to everyone. Said Henry Davis has looked really good in the adjustments he made this offseason. Said Nick Gonzalez has looked good so far, making the same adjustments as he gets ready for the WBC. Said Mason Montgomery, who the Bucks acquired in the Brandon Lau trade, has an electric arm. Said Hunter Barco is throwing the ball really well so far in spring training. And then, of course, ended it today with Paul Skeens saying that Skeens winning the Cy Young, that's not what drives him. It is winning, period, that helps drive Paul Skeens. And Kelly saying definitively, we're going to win in Pittsburgh. I certainly hope so, because can't be any worse than the old manager, Derek Shelton. And Kelly when he came in last year after Shelton got relieved of duty and the team saw an uptick in production and morale and all that. I'm hoping that that good juju and good vibes surrounding Don Kelly, that stuff remains and sticks throughout this season and the seasons to come. Last few things from spring training today, the first day. Paul Skeens, Mitch Keller, heard from both of those guys in interviews. Skeens, Keller, both giving some encouraging words as to how good this Pirates rotation can be, which on paper, hypothetically, it does look like an outstanding rotation. Skeens, Keller, eventually Jared Jones, two solid youngsters in Bubba Chandler and Braxton Ashcraft, maybe an additional free agent lefty here soon enough. Hunter Barco, you still got there as well. Maybe a nice reclamation project in Jose Urquidy and Mike Clevenger. So the Buccos, they definitely do have some horses in the bullpen or in the rotation. Skeens says they're no longer going to be, what's the word I'm looking for here? They're no longer going to be an under the radar rotation. He says nothing is stopping them from being atop of the line rotation in baseball, whatever sort of, name or trademark gets put on them. The only thing that's going to get in our way is ourselves. That from Skeens or the bats. I mean, the bats got in your way pretty much. Maybe he's not referring to the pitchers themselves. Maybe he's referring to the team as a whole, which a component of the team definitely failed them last year. So maybe Skeens was hinting to that a little bit. Mitch Keller said similar things, but he was gassing up each player individually. Paul's a badass on the mound with his mentality. Jared's piss and vinegar out there. Ashcraft is a different type. Bubba too. Everyone has their own little way of doing things. It's so much fun to see it all come together. Love that quote from Mitch Keller. Bookmark that one. Put it in the Rolodex for later this season because we're hoping that each and every single guy brings that to the regular season. Last thing, Skeens, reports were that he was working on a new pitch. He has like 8 pitches. He was working on a 9th, called a slower version of his sweeper, which was the sleeper. Skeens said there is no pitch being added. He will stick with the 7 pitches he got. And that's going to be it. Which, I mean, hey, already good enough as is. Rookie of the Year, Cy Young his first 2 seasons. He could throw a fastball and still carve out a Hall of Fame career. So I guess don't overdo it in terms of pitch mix-up if you are one Paul Skeens. And that pretty much does it for day 1. Pirates spring training. Looked like everyone down there went in. Pitchers, catchers, fielders. Everyone looks like they have a rejuvenation to their, vibes. It seems like no one's coming in with any sort of pressure or any sort of that, here we go again. Look at our roster. It's another shite team, and we're probably going to finish 4th, 5th in the division. No, everyone had some color to them. Everybody looked quite happy and eager to get this thing going, which kind of like the fans have not had a feeling like that in quite some time. And thank God it's finally time to have some excitement around Bucco baseball again. The way things are have been going in Pittsburgh sports over the past decade, it's about damn time that one of these teams crawl out of the cellar. Penguins are doing that a little bit, but the Buccos especially, it would taste twice as nice should they do it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, about half an hour into stream here right now on this Wednesday evening. 7 of you in here right now. Of the 7 of you in here, if you are new here to the channel, please. Oh, sorry, some audio cut in there. If you are new here to the channel, please, on your way in, hit that subscribe button, hitting at 749 right now on the subscriber count. 1 subscriber away from 750 here on the channel. Also, come on back tomorrow. Like I said, we'll be live tomorrow, 3 p.m. Team USA begins their Olympic run in the men's division. Excited to see all of Team USA, Austin Matthews, the Kachuk brothers, Jack Eichel, who's probably my favorite non-Penguin in the NHL, Jake Gensel former Penguin, Quinn Hughes, Jack Hughes. Excited to see USA get going tomorrow in the Olympics. 2 outstanding games today. We'll see what Team USA has in store as they go up against Latvia and current Penguins goaltender Arturs Shilovs. Of the 7 of you in here right now, let's go to the comment section here. You guys lighting up the comment section a little bit there. Concepts, Rands, my dad, glad to see you guys in here on this Wednesday evening. Hope everyone's having a great day. Same to you, Concepts. Appreciate it. What pick are you announcing at the draft? I'm announcing the pick of who the Steelers are going to target first as their undrafted free agent. I mean, hell, I'm not making any draft pick. Would love to do it. I mean, holy hell, talk about an experience, but might need to be a little bit more mainstream for that to happen. It might need to tone back the, oh my God, what the hell are the Steelers doing rhetoric here. But I mean, we'll see if that opportunity ever comes. I'll be honored to do it, but don't think that that's in the cards as much as I wish it were. Best D-line often wins the Super Bowl, it seems. Wide receiver is top need, same with safety, but D-line also needs to be a top priority as well, especially with the depth issues in 2025. You see, that right there, Concepts, I keep seeing tons of people put out there, you know, especially these national mock drafters that don't have a lick of connections to Pittsburgh. Keep seeing, like, every year, oh, Steelers in the first 2 rounds taking an offensive lineman. Instead, how about we focus on the other line a little bit? I would be quite all right if the Steelers targeted D-line early, but like you said there, wide receiver still, until further notice, unless the Steelers go big game hunting in free agency or the trade market, wide receiver is still my first round pick. And I don't care. You could have 6 wide receivers on the board in the first round, and you could be down to the 6th guy on that list, and I'm still taking him because this wide receiver 2 issue has to stop, and it needs to stop yesterday or last year. By yesterday, I mean last year. So, yeah, wide receiver, definitely a top need. Safety, I could see them getting a young safety to groom behind Jalen Ramsey for the time being, and Deshaun Elliott, but unless, you know, a Kyle Hamilton like guy is sitting there at 21 for you, you might need to pump the brakes a little bit and wait till back end of day 2 to address safety there. You guys, Concepts, also with a comment here. We're going to get to that in a minute, Concepts. That's what's on deck here. Shout out, Concepts, my dad, Rands. What's going on, Rands? Glad to have you here. Concepts here. JPJ, first team All-Pro. F what the NFL says. They continue to prove they hate the Steelers. Absolutely. I definitely do think when it comes to awards and especially, you know, the PFF stuff, there is a ton of Steeler fatigue when you're, you know, the consummate franchise in NFL history and, you know, so much history about you. Of course, you're going to be viewed in a very harsh light, and you need to do like God's work to get special recognition. But I do agree, JPJ, I mean, no touchdowns allowed, was a guy who constantly lined up across from other teams' number ones this season, and rarely did he ever get burned in a game, let alone all game. Cut down on the penalties, which was a huge sign of his development. So, yeah, don't care what anybody else says. JPJ, first team All-Pro, and you best believe we're going to get into a little bit of Steeler free agency talk here a little bit later on in the show in the extra Pittsburgh sports news category. We'll talk about Steelers free agents, but also coming close to time for Porter Jr. to get his first big boy contract here. And I bet you, even though he didn't get the first team All-Pro, he's going to walk in there and he's going to throw down that statistic of, 2 straight years, or my entire career, have not allowed a touchdown against in one-on-one coverage. Bet you that's going to be a lead thing that Porter and his agent brings up in negotiations here. Which, speaking of Porter, we'll get to more of your comments here a little bit later on, takes us into our second big story of the evening here. funny that you mentioned Joey Porter Jr. because it is his dad, Joey Porter Sr., that is making the headlines here today. Joey Porter Sr. calling out Big Ben Roethlisberger on the Cam Hayward podcast, I believe. Not Just Footballin' is the name of Cam's podcast, and no arrows left in the quiver. Ain't that what it's called? The sheath that the arrows are in, quiver. Isn't that, is that the right thing? I have no idea. Anyways, Joey emptying the verbal clip on Ben Roethlisberger today, saying that Big Ben, bad teammate, bad person. The exact quote you see on your screen right now. If we're talking Steelers business, his ass is foul of all foul. This blank that he did is foul of all foul. Or the blank that he did is foul of all foul. He's not a good teammate. Won a Super Bowl with him, but the person, he's just not a good teammate. He knows that. Anybody in the Steeler building knows that. But we protected him because I've only won one Super Bowl, and that was my quarterback. So do I love my quarterback? Yeah. But is he a good person? No. Jesus. Anybody have on their bingo card an absolute blow up of the 2005 Steelers team here? I did not think so. Porter just brimstone and fire, and we all know that Peasy Sr., he ain't, he's not a guy that shies away from tapping into his emotions or saying what he's saying, but damn, just destroying the all-time, argue Terry Bradshaw or Ben Roethlisberger, but the greatest Steelers quarterback in their history just destroys them like that. Bad teammate, bad person. I mean, there's tons to talk about Ben, the person, especially early on in his career. The teammate, I mean, that's nothing really new, to be honest. Ben himself on his podcast multiple times has said early in his career he was not a good teammate, so that's not new information. But crazy that this just came out today. Porter, fire and brimstone, bringing hell to earth on Ben Roethlisberger. What makes it doubly as crazy, weren't these two just, buddy, say 3 months ago? Not even. Whenever the Steelers had their Hall of Honor ceremony, it was Porter, Big Ben, and Marquise Pouncey getting inducted into the same Hall of Fame class. Didn't seem like Porter was, calling Ben a trash teammate and a trash person then. I mean, hell, there's a picture out there floating today of them damn near hugging each other arm in arm while Pouncey's talking to him. So just, wow. Caught me off guard. I'm sure it caught all of us off guard today. I wonder how Pounce is going to be the middleman here. I mean, Hall of Fame honor here. You got two of the three beefing. Does Pounce be the peacekeeper here? At least physically, I would hope not, because Pounce lost a lot of weight. He's not the big guy that he used to be here, but that's absolutely crazy here, Porter. I'm not going to come on here and take up sides in the matter. I mean, you guys in the comment section can feel free to take up whatever side you want. I'm seeing a few comments right now on a separate screen, your guys' comments. I'm not going to take up sides in the matter, just want to talk about the absolute insanity that this just pops up, especially not even, 3 months after they went into the Hall of Honor together, Steelers Hall of Honor. Even crazier, I mean, showing what side Steelers players, past and present, are taking up here. You have had multiple Steelers players chime in on this on the post of, I believe it's Cam Hayward's podcast, who posted that clip of Porter Sr., that's making its rounds. Mike Mitchell, Peasy, talking that talk. Mike Adams, amen. Hold them boys accountable. Ben talking crap about anybody is comical. Mason Rudolph, which, I mean, that one's pretty obvious. We all knew beginning of Mason Rudolph's career, Ben did absolutely nothing to help develop along Mason Rudolph, because Ben was pissy pants that they didn't get a wide receiver or someone to help the team in the immediate. Rudolph go off at Joey Porter Sr. Patrick Queen not sure what type of relationship teammate-wise he has with Big Ben. He posted talk. Kendrick Green, another guy who has tons of beef with Ben, said real, LOL. You remember, I think it was Big Ben on his podcast talking about, oh, look, they did this for this quarterback in their final year. Meanwhile, I got a center that never played center before. So Ben, was he right at the time? I mean, yeah, kind of he was right in that case, but definitely doing Kendrick Green no favors there. Just crazy today that all of a sudden social media, Steelers social media, has turned into a war zone among past and present players. So hopefully this isn't something that's going to linger throughout the entire offseason. We got a exciting Pittsburgh NFL draft coming up here. You know what will make this all better, honestly? Let's have the first round pick of the Steelers come up. We're going to have Ben and Joey Porter Sr. all on the stage together. We're going to have everyone that has chimed in on this debate. We're going to put them all on the stage on the North Shore outside Acrisure Stadium. They together are going to be forced to stand there for 5 minutes together, smile with each other, shake hands, kiss babies, and they're going to pose, and then it is going to be Ben and Porter Sr. together walking up to the mic. Porter Sr. And with the 21st overall pick, Big Ben, the Pittsburgh Steelers select, and then they both say the player together. That's how we reach our kumbaya moment with this, in my opinion. Let's do it. Get them together on the stage. Have them fight it out, hug it out. I don't care. We're going to fix this because we cannot have this, Looney Tune, everyone gang up on the other guy stuff all off season. We got a draft to conduct here in Pittsburgh, and a new era with Mike McCarthy at the helm. We'll see who all he brings back and all that, but let's see what else goes on with the Steelers this offseason. But that's a great way. Definitely gave us at least something to talk about for a day. The NFL's in kind of a dead period right now with the whole franchise tag window for the next 3 weeks. But hey, never a dull moment. Never a dull moment. So that was fun. Like I said, you guys in the comments section, not going to take up sides, but I do see your comments here. Concepts, Rands, PGH, Chris TV, seems right. Happy Wednesday. Sucks to see JP and Big Ben going at it, but I sat on my show earlier. JP, yeah, I mean, Porter, again, not a guy to pull any punches. Literally, I mean, hell, dude got into fights plenty in his career. Also, I will say this, calling Ben a bad teammate, that's one thing. Calling Ben a bad person, that's another. I mean, we all know all the stuff Big Ben did and allegedly did throughout early in his career. Let's not act like Joey Porter Sr. was a saint either off the field. So might be a, maybe right message, but wrong guy situation. Been seeing that a ton here. Concepts, diehard Big Ben fan, but did give off vibes Porter described when younger. Yeah, no hate. We're often different in our 20s and teens. It seems hypocritical what he's claiming on his podcast. Yeah, I mean, at least Ben owned up to it too. That, he said, early on in my career, bad teammates, all of a sudden dude comes into the league, wins a Super Bowl, probably thinks he's the new hot thing on the block. And yeah, I definitely do think that is definitely true of what Porter said because Ben said it himself. But yeah, crazy. Even Ben and Debo both. Yeah, they've gone head to head before. Big Ben and James Harrison. I mean, don't think Harrison and Joey Porter Sr. are all that fond of each other as well. Rand's here. Agree. Same old here. Just get him sidetracked. Was here eating. Yeah. Yeah. Just crazy that we're now going to have this, little side quest of the Steelers offseason. Big Ben, Joey Porter Sr., they hate each other now. Well, that didn't say they hate each other, but that is strong language. So we'll see. Another comment here from James Bongiorano. Hope I didn't mess up your last name there, James. Ben, no doubt, wasn't a good teammate, but the timing seems fishy, especially being that it took so long for Porter to get into the Steelers Hall of Honor and Big Ben in his first year possible. Yeah, definitely is some strange timing there. Also, you got to wonder now, another piece of the timing here, next year, Big Ben, first year of eligibility for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I mean, it's been said before that Hall of Fame voters are supposed to keep things objective and strictly to football, but when you got stuff like this coming out, I mean, got to wonder if that's going to play a role in it, stuff like that. But yeah, also Joey Porter Jr. Does it seem like he's the guy to let a grudge go? I don't think so either. Neither does Big Ben. So you got two spiteful guys here who did good stuff for the Steelers, but turns out not all that not all that fond of how they are outside of the gridiron. So crazy that we have reached a Steeler offseason where the drama kicks in this early. I mean, you have to go back to the Antonio Brown days when you had this much drama this early in the Steelers offseason, all the way from a coaching change to former players getting after each other to, who's going to be back, who's not, who's getting cut, who's getting traded, who's getting re-signed, all of that. Tons of craziness, twists, turns, all arounds coming up in this Steelers roller coaster of an offseason. It will be that. Just please let not one of those twists and turns be a first-round quarterback. That's all I ask. All I ask. Ben, Peasy, you guys talk crap on each other all you want. Just please let's not have this drama and all this distraction go into any decision-making for the team. That's all I ask. 6 of you in here right now on this Wednesday evening. Appreciate all of you coming on here. Like I said, we are going to get into the extra Pittsburgh sports news, some more Pittsburgh Steelers stuff coming up here in a minute. In the meantime, I want to take a quick stroll here on the Twitter timeline, see if any new news has popped up since we have gone live. See video that the Pittsburgh Pirates just posted 22 minutes ago. I will bookmark that to save later, but the Pirates, they have officially acknowledged the return of Jacob Stallings now on the coaching staff. Funny, they announced Stallings returning to the team before they've even made official the Marcell Ozuna or Jose Urquidy signings. Be a good time, Buccos, for you guys to get those done here. Seeing more reactions here to this Big Ben thing. We do have a new update on Patrick Queen. So the Patrick Queen comment on Instagram was picked up by Steelers Depot. Someone then asked the question, Patrick Queen never even played with him. What does he know? Queen, this is his comment 28 minutes ago on Twitter. Because y'all incompetent ass people didn't watch the video and understand there were 3 people JP talked about. Only one of them I have been around. Take 10 seconds out of your day to think. So, Patrick Queen, anybody coming his direction can get it here today. Jeez Louise. What is going on? Pirates Twitter is a war zone. Meanwhile, hey, all smiles and good vibes for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Imagine those two things being real at the same time. All of a sudden, everything sucks with the Steelers and everything is awesome with the Pirates. Same thing with the Penguins, too, but they're out of the conversation because they're on break right now. Just, wow. Wow, who would have thought that we'd ever reach this point? I didn't, that's for sure here. Looking if there is any other things here that we have not already talked about or will talk about here in a moment. Looks like got a video over in Italy right now of Erik Karlsson and Rickard Rakell together, already having some fun post-game. Good day from those 2 guys. We'll get to that in one moment. Seeing another ESPN Get Up show post right here that I absolutely despise. Why I despise it, what it is, I will talk about that in a moment. Let's get right into it now, ladies and gentlemen. The extra Pittsburgh sports news of the day here on February 11th, 2026. I want to go into hockey for the first time tonight, just for a minute. No real big Penguins news today, aside from today being Ryan Shea's birthday. Happy birthday, Ryan Shea. You're going to earn yourself a nice contract here soon enough. Instead, Olympic men's hockey officially got underway. We'll be covering that a little bit here on the channel. Arturs Shilovs for Team Latvia, Ricard Raquel, Erik Karlsson for Team Sweden, Sidney Crosby for Team Canada. Sweden today played in the first day of games. They just an hour or so ago took down Team Italy in what was oddly a tightly contested contest. Final score was 5-2. Ricard Raquel and Erik Karlsson each recorded an assist in the game. But talk about Italy that has 0 NHL players and looked like they were just pulling guys off the street to form a roster. Italy gave Sweden a run for their money a little bit there. Slovakia, they did the same and then some, taking down Finland in an upset today. Tomorrow, though, that is when the Olympic business will pick up. Crosby and Team Canada, they will take on Czechia in the morning. Should be an entertaining game. Oddly, I think that one could be a come down to the wire game. Some sneaky good players on Czechia, especially David Pastrnak, Martin Necas, Tomas Hertl. But Canada, they are a juggernaut and a half, so we'll see if they run them over. And then in the afternoon, again, 3 p.m., come on back here tomorrow, guys. Got Latvia, led by Penn's goaltender Arturs Shilovs. He will take on the USA, which I'm tired of seeing a commercial over here. It says, USA, the most loaded roster in Olympic history. True, but could it have been, 3 times as better than what it currently is? Yeah. You got 2 of the best American scorers on the planet back stateside right now, and Cole Caulfield and Jason Robertson. I think one of those guys would have been a nice fit on this team instead of 2 days older than Dirk Brock Nelson, or as much as I love him, he's a Pittsburgh guy, JT Miller, who's been having an absolutely terrible year for the Mike Sullivan-led Rangers, which, by the way, Mike Sullivan left Pittsburgh. Bad ending in Pittsburgh, terrible beginning in New York. Hopefully him coaching Team USA does not have any sort of the same fate here, but we shall see. But yeah, more Olympic hockey coverage on the channel ahead. Hope you guys come back here. We will definitely keep track of how the Penguins players do, and Team USA, we will cover them as well. On to some extra Pittsburgh Steelers news here from the day. Happy 25th anniversary to those who celebrate of the Three Rivers Stadium demolish. 25 years ago today, Three Rivers imploded. Right next to it, Heinz Field. Even further down, you got PNC Park. Again, still say one of my favorite Pittsburgh venues that I never got the chance to be in. Seems like a fantastic place to go catch a ball game. As for some other Steelers things here today, we are into the NFL offseason. That means mock draft season out the ass between now and the NFL draft here in April. And we've gotten 2 mock drafts here recently. This here from Chad Reuter, who is one of the top mockers out there of NFL.com. He came out with a 3-team mock draft, and his Steelers picks make me want to throw up a little bit. First round pick, I'm actually cool with. Casey Conception, wide receiver out of Texas A&M. But there are some fantastic wide receivers that went ahead of him. Jordan Tyson was in trade range. Denzel Boston was taken a pick before, I believe. Carnell Tate made it all the way down to pick 14 to the Baltimore Ravens in his mock, which if Tate goes to Baltimore, I will lose my mind, because cannot have that. I will trade heaven and earth just to spite the Ravens and get a Carnell Tate if he somehow falls outside the top 10. Not going to let the Ravens get anywhere near him. I think the last guy here, Mekhi Lemon, he was going 6th in this mock draft to the Cleveland Browns. Love that. Love that. At least the consolation prize in the interim, the Kyle Lemon. Cleveland doesn't really have anybody to throw him the football because Shadur Sanders, very overblown, very overrated. There were some other things here from Chad Runer's mock draft that I didn't really understand too much here. I believe round 2 in his mock draft here, he had the Steelers at pick number 53, taking Billy.
We're here now with Clemson edge rusher TJ.
Again, what is up with the audio comeback here? Anyways, you had Billy Strouth, Notre Dame offensive guard, 2nd round pick. If you don't sign Isaac Seumalo, I'd be cool with that. Later on, 3rd round here, I believe this is where the Steelers had 2 picks. Had the Steelers taking Drew Aller, pick number 76. Yikes. And Garrett Nussmeier went a pick before that to the Miami Dolphins. Not sure I'm going to have Drew Aller all that high, especially in the day 2 range on my draft board here. That is a reach and a half for your first 3rd round pick. Not going to take Drew Aller then. Maybe we can talk 4th round pick, but 3rd round, no. And then pick 85. Unless the Steelers cut Patrick Queen, no idea how this makes sense. Deontay Lawson, linebacker for Alabama. Good player, just think we would have more pressing needs than a linebacker. Would rather use that pick on a defensive lineman, a defensive back of any sort. Hell, I'd even take another wide receiver, get 2 guys to fix the issue instead of just a one conception. So we'll see. That was a mock draft there from Chad Reuter. And then there was another one. I mentioned this a minute ago. Field Yates of ESPN must be hopefully not hearing something that we don't know, because he has the Steelers taking Ty Simpson, Mr. 15 college starts himself, getting picked at pick 21 by the Steelers out of Alabama. As a raw prospect you can get, only 15 starts. I have more faith that Mike McCarthy will be able to develop him 10 times over Mike Tomlin here, but still, weak draft class. Not going to be touching any quarterback in the first 3 rounds of the 10-foot poll, but we'll see if the Steelers piss us off with that or not. Back into Steelers free agents. Mentioned we'd be talking about that. Spotrac, they came out with market value salary projections for a bunch of free agents. Kenneth Gainwell and Calvin Austin viewed as the top 2 free agents for the Steelers. Austin, his market value going to be around $4.9 million per year. Kenneth Gainwell, $3 million per year. At those prices, I think the Steelers will have like $30 million in cap space to play with. My opinion on that, are we really going to be breaking the bank for any massive free agent this year? I mean, your biggest signing would probably be bringing back Aaron Rodgers, and it'd probably be a similar salary at like, $13.5 million. So little under $5 million for Austin. Kenneth Gainwell, $3 million. You got $8 million for still, you put him in the right role, a solid wide receiver that could be a game breaker and your team MVP from last year. I'm doing it. Those are easy pickups here, but we'll see how other teams do realistically in that bidding. Some other key Steelers free agents coming to the market this offseason. Safety, Kyle Duggar. Think they're going to get Deshaun Elliott back. Thank you for coming in and helping us and what you did, but think your time has come. Cole Holcomb, think he's going to be moving on to elsewhere unless Steelers promise him more playing time. Miles Killebrew, think that's going to be an easy re-sign for your special teams, but we'll see with the new coaching staff. James Pierre, Asante Samuel Jr., guys who I think made outstanding plays last year. Samuel, we didn't get as big of a sample size, but would love to see him get a full runway and a full season in the black and gold. And then the last big one I see here, Isaac Seumalo. I think if you can bring back Seumalo on a similar deal to what he had, I'd do it. But if he's looking for a pay raise, then you might need to go bargain bin hunting or see what you got with Spencer Anderson or something like that, or draft a guy. So we'll see. That's probably my biggest question mark right now if you're going to get your starting left guard back. Last two things here on the Steelers for today. Some good news and some bad news. The bad news, the Baltimore Ravens, they are bringing back one of their former players, Anthony Levine Sr. He will be a special teams coach for the Ravens, earned the nickname Co-Cap when he was with Baltimore as an assistant special teams coach, and thought he was a good player on special teams for the Ravens. Now he's going to be leading that unit, but not as a player anymore. But the good news is that another player who did some damage against the Steelers in his career, David Njoku, he, leaving Cleveland, made a whole big Instagram post 2 days ago saying that Cleveland, it's been fun, beautiful journey, but I'm going to be moving on to new opportunities. Don't blame him with Harold Fannin usurping him as the TE1 there in the land. So David Njoku, hopefully out of Cleveland, because I'm not going to doubt it. Not going to doubt for a second he could return, because, will he pull a Myles Garrett? They offer him big money. He goes back and spends some more time in hell while wiping his tears with $100 bills, or will he actually leave? Hopefully for pure football side of things in Steelers, he will be out of Cleveland and out of the AFC North as a whole. Wrapping up here, ladies and gentlemen, with the Pittsburgh Pirates. They are going to be more and more of a main topic here on the channel with baseball season starting up. The Houston Astros, they are dangling still out there on the line, third baseman Isaac Paredes. The Pirates have been among the top teams interested in acquiring Paredes, who is a much upgrade of a bat at third base over one Jared Triolo, even though his glove isn't nearly as good. An update in that, we know the Boston Red Sox, they were in on Paredes as well. They made a change in direction and ended up acquiring Caleb Durbin from the Brewers. Don't know who else besides the Bucks would be in on the Astros right now, but we know what the Astros are looking for. According to reports and rumors, they are seeking a left-handed outfielder in Isaac Paredes. To that, I list two things. One, Houston, could we interest you in a slightly used Jack Suwinski? He does have 29 home run potential. The bad news is that was every single bit of 3 years ago. And also, if you don't want Jack Suwinski, then maybe could we work out a 3-team trade where, say you get a Joey Bart that they were rumored to be interested in. We send a prospect somewhere else. You send us Paredes. The team we send a prospect to sends you a left-handed outfielder. Maybe we work out a whole 3-way trade there where everybody in the end gets what they want. I'm hoping that would be the case. Also, found out Paredes wouldn't be costing all that much too in terms of salary. If you do get a Joey Bart off the books, that's $2.5 million gone. Paredes only making $9.3 million, so $6.8 million being added to the payroll. I mean, I know it's Bob Nutting, but damn, that should not be anything that stops you from getting a trade done if possible. So we'll see if the Bucks do anything to add the third baseman, to add anything at third base, or if they are going to stand pat. Also, would not rule out the Bucks looking at the outfield either. Looking at the other side of the Keystone State here, the Philadelphia Phillies, they are doing everything they can to move outfielder Nick Gonzalez. They even told him to stay away from their first spring training day today, so they are going to move him or release him before opening day. If that's the case, Bucks, you can get, Castellanos on a bargain deal, or maybe make a trade with the Phillies, send them a garbage bottom of your pipeline prospect, and they pay most of his money. I'd be cool with that too, no doubt. In the meantime, the Pirates did make an addition today. They added 19-year-old left-handed pitcher Jorgensen Artigas from Venezuela to their international signing class. So the Bucks looks like they are continuing to add tons and tons of good talent here. This RT gets a little bit to work on in the velocity department, sitting in the high 80s right now. But lefties, they come at a premium in the MLB. If they can develop that kid a little bit, maybe he can fetch the Bucks something in a trade later on down the line. And the last thing here on the Bucks today, O'Neal Cruz, this offseason, it was reported that he was working a ton on his outfield defensive work with four-time Gold Glove winner Kevin Kiermaier. Good thing that O'Neal got that time in with Kiermaier when he did, because Kiermaier, now off the market, he will be going into the Tampa Bay Rays organization as an outfield consultant. So maybe they saw the Pirates getting some free assistance from one of their former players, and they say, nope, you're only ours now. So good job with Cruz getting that in when he did. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think we are going to be wrapping things up here tonight very soon. Got some last-minute comments in here before we log off this evening. Concepts lost a lot of respect for Debo going back to football here. Became a distraction in the room, forced his trade to the Cheatriots, and was slow and proved it in New England. But I admit my opinion isn't worth the damn. Yeah, I mean, James Harrison definitely did have a sour ending in Pittsburgh on multiple fronts. But, I mean, at the end of the day, he made reconciliation with the organization. Hell, he's the guy that is featured the most in the Steelers intro video. So, I mean, yeah, tons of guys here with comments that don't necessarily line up with their own doings here, I would say. Hope we keep Queen, bring back Rodgers. I know those are hot topics. Yeah, I mean, Rodgers, that's one thing. I mean, would I be over the moon excited for Rodgers? No, but is it the worst thing that the Steelers could do this offseason? I guess not. I'm actually with you on Patrick Queen. I thought he played a whole lot better than what some people give him credit for. And if he's able to, continue to be a solid 1-2 punch with Peyton Wilson, which, by the way, Peyton Wilson didn't show much of anything as taking over the linebacker one spot over Patrick Queen. So, yeah, I definitely bring back Queen, but we'll see how he fits into the new coaching system coming in. Definitely don't want to, just get rid of Queen to save money here and then not have any sort of a legit plan to replace him. I thought he was better than what people gave him credit for here. Concepts here, like Sayamalu, but we really struggled getting push up the middle. Is he still a quality starter in your eyes, or just a low-end bridge player? I think started out his Steelers tenure as a quality starter, but then definitely developed into a low-end bridge player right now. All I'm going to say, I think where most of my opinion comes in on Sayamalu is that if he walks, it is going to be very expensive to bring in another free agent guard. And then you're either doing that, paying a fortune to get maybe a guy just as good as him. You're paying double to get a Sayamalu replacement, or you're going to take a risk on a draft pick, which, I mean, both don't seem like very enticing options right now. So if you can bring back Sayamalu on a similar deal, I'd do that, and then maybe you can get that guard in the draft, have him develop a little bit before you need to put him in. Rather do that than just draft a guard and say, hey, day one, you're starting left guard. Good luck, kid. Go get him right in the deep end here in the AFC North. So we'll see. Definitely do think I agree with you. Push up the middle was a bit of an issue with the offensive line, but let's not forget Sayamalu was dealing with a pec injury for most of the season, which I said in the time, and I'll say it again now. Pec injuries for, offensive linemen, probably the worst position to have that type of injury, because you're using your arms for punches and stuff like that. And instead of being able to maybe get full extension on a punch to initiate contact, you're receiving the first contact a bunch, which makes your life all that much more harder. Concepts here. Would you trade a third or a fourth for DJ Moore and take his contract? Here are issues with his effort, but he is talented, good route runner. Just a random hypothetical. Not going to be totally honest, not sure what his contract is. I'm sure he's getting paid a lot of money. If it's a 4th round pick, I'd do it. If it's a third, I'd take a little bit of a pause, but issues with his effort. I mean, hell, we've spent much more to get that exact same thing here. We've spent a 2nd round pick on George Pickens. He had effort issues. So giving up a 4th or a 3rd round pick, it's not like we haven't given up any worse draft compensation to acquire a guy like that. Also, good route runner. Steelers have been dying for one of those types of wide receivers, so that gives me a check in the plus department of making that trade. And also, DJ Moore, effort issues. I like to think that the Mike McCarthy offensive philosophy is going to be light years better than Mike Tomlin's, even though it might not be the most modern day offense. McCarthy is an offensive mind, and he does know to get the ball to his main guys. I'm sure he would love to get DJ Moore in here and get him involved in the offense. That might help keep his head on straight a little bit here. Thomas Dowdy here. Welcome, Thomas. Going to have to go back and see what was said about Big Ben, but if it was anything about being ego-related, I would believe it. Quarterbacks have that big ego mindset. I mean, even, like I said, doubly so with Ben. Dude came into the league as a 3rd stringer, and then all of a sudden he's the starter, and then he wins the Super Bowl. Now, granted, he got carried by the defense, but I could see a quarterback that young having that much success that early, developing a big ego, which they have to have egos to begin with. I believe that. So, yeah, Thomas, definitely go check that out. I'm definitely going to go watch it again as well. What's good? Great. Hope all is well. Your way. Appreciated, Thomas. Concepts. You guys introducing each other here. Also, Tyreek Hill, if fully recovered and back to normal. Big if. I know. LOL. I'm on the fence with him. The thing with Tyreek Hill, he brings in twice as much baggage with DJ Moore. I'm not going to act like I've kept tabs on DJ Moore and what all goes on in his life, but don't think he has as many off the field issues as Tyreek Hill does or has had. So might need to steer me a little bit of a different direction for Tyreek Hill. He might be a guy you don't trade for and just see if the Dolphins cut him loose. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, I think that is just about going to wrap it up here for tonight. Last comment here from Thomas. Don't forget Ayuk is available. Him and TK paired together well. Open up CA3 and our tight ends in the middle. Yeah, Ayuk could be an option. If there was ever, a production to issues scale here, you got DJ Moore all the way to the good side. Not a, saint, but better than the other options. At the other end, you got Tyreek Hill. I put somewhere in the middle of Brandon Ayuk quitting on his team legitimately after they paid him, $28 million a year. That's certainly an option that makes you go, all right, might need to pump the brakes here on acquiring that guy. But we'll see. I think Ayuk was a big Mike Tomlin fan. Is he going to be a big Mike McCarthy fan? We shall see. So, all right, that's going to do it for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I want to appreciate you all coming back here on a Wednesday. The next time that we are live like this, talking Pittsburgh sports news, besides, if a massive development or story were to go down, the next time we talk in a setting like this will be on Friday. We'll be off tomorrow for, normal channel stuff. Instead, we will be live at 3 p.m. Again, come on back to the channel for Olympic hockey coverage. Would appreciate it if you did that. So on your way out tonight, please hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications so that you never miss a thing here on the channel. Again, one last subscriber count here real quick. Still hanging at 749. So unless someone subscribes after the fact here this evening, hopefully we will be hitting 750 and then some tomorrow with Olympic hockey coverage. That would be awesome. So on your way out, again, subscribe, turn on notifications, like, share. If you have any afterthoughts of tonight's show, leave a comment in the comment section. I'll drop you a like, leave you a comment after the fact. Go give the channel a follow at Steel City SR on Facebook, Instagram, and X, and tune back in a little bit later on tonight for a new edition of SCSR 60. Thank you all. Have a good rest of your Wednesday night. Back here on Friday for another news stream like this. Back here tomorrow afternoon for Olympic hockey coverage. See you guys then. Peace.